Yo, what's going on, guys? Trey back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about Brock Lesnar and whether or not I think he'll be returning to the UFC ever. So, period, at all, will he ever come back? I think that this is an interesting topic, but I really don't think that Brock Lesnar will ever return to the UFC. At least not in terms of, title contention and to try to make another run at the top of the UFC heavyweight division. If he does come back, it might be in a couple years, and he might just pick up a fight against, like, Frank Mir or something like that. Just, even though neither of them really be near the top, just sort of like kind of like as a fun paycheck type fight just to take. He might fight, some other, Hall of Famer, UFC heavyweight, stuff like that. But I don't think he'll ever really come back to the way he was before and really, go after the UFC belt again and really train hard and all that kind of stuff. So he might come back in the sense that maybe he'll take on a fight or two, but I don't think he'll ever come back in the sense that he's going to, really rededicate himself to mixed martial arts. As we know, he signed a one-year contract, so to speak, or at least publicly reported one-year contract with the WWE, and it won't be like necessarily, like every Raw or every week he won't be doing something, but he'll come and go, as he pleases, so to speak, make a few appearances, a month, so to speak, and maybe just hype up an event at a pay-per-view, this kind of stuff, and matches, and then maybe wrestle a couple matches once a month or something, or maybe a couple times a month and have that be it. But in terms of UFC and mixed martial arts, I don't think we'll ever see Brock Lesnar truly 100% refocused, dedicated, and coming back for an extended period of time. Maybe just for like one fight, for a fun fight, but never to be serious about it. I mean, Dana White and the Fertittas, they did have an interview or meeting, so to speak, with Brock, and they said it went terrible because, really I don't see the reason why you would want to have a meeting with him. I mean, it's pretty clear to me that he doesn't have it in him anymore. He was the champion for a couple years, but, it's a couple years later now. He had his diverticulitis. He had his illness, so coming back from that after, you're not going to be the same guy. He's not going to be able to eat the same. He's not as big as he was. Like, even when we see him in the WWE, he looks smaller than he did before his diverticulitis surgery that he had done. Like, a couple years ago, when he was, before that all happened, when he was really, big and strong and in good shape and everything before that all started coming at him, he was a huge guy. He was a monster of a man. And he still is huge, don't get me wrong. But he definitely doesn't look as strong as he did when he was in his heyday in the UFC. I think a lot of people like to knock on Brock Lesnar and try to make it sound like what he did in the UFC was just like a fluke or anything like that. And I'm sorry, but I don't think anyone can come in and, win 3 or 4, big top 5 heavyweight fights in a row to become the champion and hold the belt for a year or two. If it's just a fluke. I'm sorry, it can't happen. Yes, there were some close fights, like Shane Carwin when he gassed himself out and Brock Lesnar took him down and got him in the arm triangle choke and choked him out in the second round. But, I mean, that happens a lot of times. You see Chael Sonnen against Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva being one of the greatest of all time. A lot of people think he's the greatest of all time, and I wouldn't argue with that. At the very last round, the very last, 2 minutes, catches Chael Sonnen with a triangle choke and chokes him out. So, it happens to everybody. The fact of the matter is that Brock Lesnar was one of the best in the world when he was doing it. He's a monster, and but I think in terms of real fighting, his career is basically over. Will he be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and will he actually officially retire? I don't know if he will. If he's got a bad relationship now with Dana White and the Fertittas, I tend to think he probably won't be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. But I think he should be. I think anytime you get a guy that comes in and becomes a heavyweight champion like that for, that quickly and stays on top for a couple of years like that, should probably be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I think so. Most of the guys who become champions, if they get a championship belt and defend it at least once or twice, that's the type of person that should be in the Hall of Fame, I think, when they retire. Just like Tito Ortiz is being inducted soon, Brock Lesnar should be as well. So I think that's it for Brock Lesnar's mixed martial arts career. Like I said, if he does come back, it'll just be for a fun match. I don't think it'll be anything serious. I don't think he'll ever rededicate himself and try to go at the UFC belt again. You think when he had the interview with Dana White and the Fertittas that he was pissed off because obviously everybody knows now that Alistair Overeem was on steroids when he fought Brock. I imagine Brock was really pissed about that because, and probably wanted answers. But, it's not Dana White and the Fertitta's fault. It's just that's what happened, and what are you going to do? But, yeah, so interesting character, Brock Lesnar. I personally don't watch WWE, so I won't be checking out what he's doing in WWE. If he ever comes back to mixed martial arts, I will watch, but I don't think he'll ever come back. Thumbs up if you agree with me. Thumbs down if you think Brock Lesnar will come back and really make a run at the title again. I don't see it. If you guys want to comment about it, talk about it, feel free to do so below. And that's it for this video. See you for the next one. Later, guys. Peace.